Gaffer, just looking back at Tuesday night's win, how has that impacted training this week, especially with players coming into the side and performing well and helping us get a result?
Yeah, well, it's helping to create a competitive setup, where we've got numbers, in all positions competing for a starting spot. And with that, you get a bit of disappointment when they find out, certain people find out they're not in the starting 11. But it does help me, with regards to driving up that competition, that standard of performance, or you'd like to think so anyway.
One negative from Tuesday night was losing Mason Bennett in the first half to what looked like a nasty injury. How's he recovered this week?
Yeah, we were worried about it, but he's going to have a late fitness test, and we'll ascertain then whether he can play as competitive as he always does. He does use his arms well as a centre forward, holding people off. So we'll have to make sure in that final test that he's okay.
Tuesday night's win made it 3 wins in a row, 3 clean sheets in a row. I think every win this season has come when we've kept a clean sheet. What does that say about how important that defensive side of our game is to us picking up 3 points?
Yeah, I think it's definitely important, that we keep focused for 90 minutes. I think, we've got some good defenders in the building now, and they're on it. I don't think they've ever been miles off it, to be honest, but it's doing it for the whole game as a collective, and that might be the way we press high up the pitch, or just making sure anyway as a group as a back line that there's no switch off moments. I think that's been important.
There has been times in the past 3 games where we've had to soak up a bit of pressure, and the defending that you just alluded to has been of a very high standard. Is that the next challenge for the team, to when we do go a goal up, to push on and maybe not have to sit back, soak up the pressure, or is it inevitable really when you take the lead, especially against the quality of opposition we've been up against, that you are going to have to do a lot of defending at times?
Well, I think there's some games where we want to keep flying forward, and that's all well and good, but if you don't add to that scoreline, I think it's human nature in team sports sometimes to become a little bit overprotective, and as a result you drop deeper, but we still maintain that counter-attacking threat with the pace we have in the team. But I understand, that we don't want to just go gloves up, and we try and encourage the players to keep on that front foot whilst maintaining a decent balance.
So looking ahead to our next game, it's in front of the Sky Sports cameras, Crewe on Monday night. Where do you see their strengths ahead of the game?
They've got a number of strengths, to be honest. We've done the breakdown of how we perceive them as a team, and they mix the game up. They do have what seems more delivery from full-backs, in particular this season, where they're sticking it in the box. They can be mix their direct play up, but also they've got some good combinations in midfield where they look at a 2 and then a 1, as a 10, or they mix it up and have 1 holding player and 2 attacking. So they've got a good mix, and they've got good intelligent players to be able to carry that out.
And the focal point is someone we know well as well, Josh March. Is it a bit of a double-edged sword coming up against a former player who's done so well here? We know his strengths and know how to play against him, hopefully, but he also knows a few of the lads in the building and might be sharing a little bit of that inside knowledge.
Yeah, I guess, when you're a player and you go back to your former club, there's that familiarity which can, ease you down, any apprehension, and perhaps give people confidence going back to their old club. But we know he's a threat, and we know that he did well for us, and we really appreciated his time with us. And I think the fact is that he's relentless, is Marchie, and gives his all for the badge, whichever club he represents. So we'll have to be switched on for him, that's for sure.
So it is Saturday, there's a lot of games today and things are going to change, but looking at the table going into the game, it's 16th against 8th, which you would look at and think there's quite a gap, but there's only actually 2 points separating the sides. What does that tell you about the early stages of the table and how close it's been in League 2?
It's such a tight league. I think it's renowned in the EFL for the ups and downs of teams and how it can quickly change, and that's why we were desperately keen to get back to winning ways a couple of weeks ago, but we weren't desperate in the fact that we lost our nerve. We knew that it's small nuances, the difference between success and failure, and you just hope to navigate it through, and be strong as a team so that no one's head drops, and keep the energy levels high. But I think it's a fickle league. It can swing both ways, but we're now keen to keep forward momentum because we know we can jump quite a few places if we go on add to it with another couple of wins now.
And given we are in the spotlight this week as well with the Sky Sports cameras, do you see that as an opportunity to really go and show what we're about? We spoke recently about not wanting to just be seen as a plucky side, but showing our attacking prowess as well is this perfect stage to do that.
Yeah, I think just the nature of our surroundings, with the tight ground, fantastic pitch. There seems to be a glow about the club when under the floodlights, especially in televised games. So, we're looking forward to it, and very much as an opportunity, in front of our home fans to go and entertain but to go and grind it out when necessary, and hopefully come away with 3 points in a televised big match.
Yeah, something we've done before, of course. Is that something that you'll be speaking to the lads about, those moments that we've had before? You think back to Lloyd Kerry away at Bradford, Ellis Taylor against Doncaster last year. It does feel like we really up our game when the TV cameras are in the house.
Well, importantly, I think the players know that. They've got that bank of memories, good memories of when they've delivered on the bigger stage. So I think we have got big game players in the ranks, and we don't want to be overconfident at all. But at the same time, we want the lads to be freed up enough to go and give it their all.
Thank you.
Thank you.